Howdy, y'all.
What's up?
We're back in it. Oh, right. Last time we ended with a scene with Maho thinking about Kurisu.
Yeah.
Felt like she was thinking about Kurisu more and more since she'd come to Japan. Maho didn't know if it was because she was in Japan or because she was talking with the Amadeus Kurisu more often. Or maybe, was it because she'd met the young man named Rintaro Okabe? He knows things about Kurisu that I don't, huh? Thinking back, the first day they'd met, she'd broken down and cried right in front of him. It was something she didn't want to remember. She chased the memories away out of embarrassment.
You were thinking of Okabe, weren't you?
Huh? She snapped her head toward the PC monitor. Maho was in the middle of a conversation with Kurisu. Yeah, that's right. She shrugged her shoulders and tried to ignore Kurisu's mischievous smile. Mischievous. Don't you think it's strange that Dr. Leskinen's got such a high opinion of him? He handed over your access rights to a guy he'd only met like twice. Is it really wise to trust him so much?
He looked like a nice person.
Yeah? I can't tell if he's got any ambitions or not. I feel like I don't really understand him.
Do you like him?
Would you cut it out? Maho brought her face close to the monitor and glared, but Kurisu seemed unconcerned.
There's no real need to hide it, is there? I can understand why you didn't want to say anything yesterday when he was right in front of you, but now it's just the two of us.
Kurisu may not have looked like someone who would, but she really enjoyed this sort of gossip. Maybe girl talk was the right word. Maho sighed and sat back in her chair. The creaking sound echoed throughout the empty office. I really don't feel that way about him. I still don't even really know who he is.
I see. Well, that makes sense.
Kurisu let the matter drop. This bothered Maho a little. But what does interest me?
What is it?
No, it's nothing. Maho had been spending a lot of time thinking about something since yesterday, to the point where she'd even been put off her research. What kind of relationship was there between Kurisu and Okabe? What was Kurisu feeling in the days before she died? She would have liked to have asked Okabe if she could. I feel like they brought up a very good point there, but kind of skimmed over it. Like, Leskinen, maybe he's just really happy-go-lucky, but he did just kind of let an outsider in on basically for calling him out during a presentation. I mean, if that's all you need in order to get trust, I guess also that plus the fact that he knew Kurisu.
Mm-hmm.
Which, okay, maybe he already was like, okay, I already got a high opinion of this guy because he did something ballsy. Let's,
It's still pretty weird. Presumably lots of people knew Kurisu.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see it being as part of a, very special case of, oh, you knew Kurisu during a time period that isn't captured by Amadeus here.
Mm-hmm.
That could provide a very important set of data, like your experience. Like, I could see him as a researcher being like, oh, what you expect of her is going to be different than what this could possibly capture, unless there's something intrinsic to it.
Well, they sent her off to be an exchange student at a high school. Presumably there would be many people that would have that connection to Kurisu, and since it was Leskinen's idea, presumably he'd know about it and be able to track down those people if that's what he wanted.
But those people don't immediately come to you and also independently impress you in the middle of a lecture.
Mm.
I'm saying it was probably like a confluence of things, right?
Perhaps.
Or
the dude's just really irresponsible.
Or, you mean, he does seem happy-go-lucky. He could just be wildly irresponsible.
Maho, did my original and Okabe know each other?
Maho shivered. It was as if Kurisu had been reading her mind. How could you tell?
I came to that conclusion after listening to Okabe and hearing your response. It's all just circumstantial evidence, but do you want me to show my proof anyway?
It's fine. Knowing you, the conclusion is perfect. The way they used words like proof in normal conversation showed that both Maho and Kurisu were scientists at heart.
Is that a scientist word? That's a mathematician word.
Maybe
proof.
it's yeah, that is more of a mathematically minded thing where like you have a conclusion and you can prove it.
Yeah, empiricism holds no truck with proofs.
Empiricism is like, oh, we can show that this is likely true with a high degree of confidence.
If they want to make the science girls be sciency, they should have made them annoyingly Bayesian.
Maybe it's a localization thing where it was more science oriented in the.
Probably yes, but I
Almost
still think they should make them annoyingly Bayesian.
Also, if you want to get down to it, mathematical proofs are proofs in the sense that, like, you know, A does follow from B, but only if you accept the axioms that begin with, right? That's the kind of sleight of hand there, is that other sciences aren't starting with axioms, whereas mathematics gets to kind of determine its own immovable core beginning. For certain kinds of mathematics, other kinds of mathematics you can drop or add on axioms and get different things, but anyway.
Or mathematics is empirical.
Or mathematics is... I love the idea of mathematics being empirical.
Some people believe it.
There are some things that it feels easier to just, like, prove through empiricism in mathematics than it is by straight-up logic, but... so it goes. Anyway.
If he has memories of me that I don't possess, that's likely to cause problems with our conversations.
I'll leave it up to you to how to deal with that. He may bring it up, possibly, and if you want, you can ask him.
Maho still didn't know if Okabe would even access Amadeus at all. They weren't forcing him to.
Feigning ignorance is the same as lying, isn't it? I should be able to get some good data, I think.
Yes, it was interesting, but that was her opinion as a researcher working on Amadeus. How would Rintaro Okabe feel about it? Wouldn't this be rubbing salt on the wounds in his heart? Maho realized she was getting much too sentimental.
Maybe it's because I'm in Japan.
It had been a week since she'd arrived. The first thing she'd planned to do was offer flowers. But she still couldn't bring herself to visit the Akihabara radio building, the place where Kurisu had died. Oh, Roddy-kan. Oh, hey! You finally get a sprite. I think has she shown up in CGs yet?
I don't remember. She showed up in Mayushi's texts.
Yes. We have seen her before. I don't remember her name off the top of my head because I'm a terrible Steins Gate fan, but the sun was setting earlier now that December had arrived. Katsumi Nakase was surprised by how quickly it had gotten dark while she was out rummaging through the cosplay shops. The wheeled suitcase on the ground next to her felt heavy. She'd done her best to jam everything she'd bought today inside, and it was bursting at the seams. Still, spending a whole day shopping with her cosplay friends was a lot of fun. She felt tired, but it was a good tired. Her footsteps were light as she walked back to the station.
Gee, I sure hope that this wonderful moment isn't ruined by the outbreak of World War III.
Oh, come on. That hasn't happened yet.
Good.
All right, because her cosplay friends Fubuki and Kaede, right?
Yep. Fubuki, you look like you're about to start skipping around, don't you? Oh, interesting. Katsumi Nakase. That's a different name than I expected.
Yeah, that's why I was confused, because like that's not. I know like this one is either Fubuki or Kaede. I think this one is Kaede. I think, but it might just be like a nickname. Mayuri does love her nicknames.
Yeah. Oh, you can tell? It was so much fun doing all that shopping today. I'm so satisfied with what we got. Mayushi had a lot of fun shopping too, thanks to Fubuki. Thanks for coming. I'll do anything for you, Mayushi. Anything for you.
Oh, right! Fubuki is the one that's a very much an overt lesbian. I don't think I'm spoiling too much by saying she is very much an overt lesbian. Fubuki tried to grab her Fubuki tried to grab her friend Mayuri Shina for a hug. Mayuri dodged out of the way. Mayuri may have looked like an airhead, but she was actually quite athletic. Fubuki, by the way, was Katsumi Nakase's cosplay name. There you go. See, I would have guessed Kaede was her, but no, she's Fubuki.
Come to think of it, in a hands-to-hands combat tournament
Yep.
of the cast of Steins Gate,
Yep.
Mayushi easily comes in top 3.
Just because no one wants to hit her, or she just dodges?
No, she's also more athletic than any of these other fucks.
True. I feel like it depends on where in the storyline we are. For reasons, I feel like Luca would place highly. Depending on where in the timeline we allow this.
I was just thinking, like, knowing Steins Gate original cast folks and just in general.
Suzuha wins, though.
Suzuha wins.
Yeah, there's no question
Suzuha
about
wins,
it.
and Moeka may or may not come in
Depending
second
on
place.
worldline, yeah.
Because, yeah.
Depending
And depending on motivation as well.
Yep.
Like,
She's got the capability, but like it's whether or not she's motivated to do it. Are we counting Braun among the main cast here, or just like lab mems and friends?
oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. I forgot about Braun.
Yep. Nai gets pretty buff come robotics notes. Come the robotics notes, she's doing a lot of biking and running, so she could be up there.
Plus, she has knife skills.
Plus, she has knife skills. Anyway, Fubuki, by the way, was Katsumi Nakase's cosplay name. Weird how she's a POV character. I wonder what that's... it's probably nothing. I wouldn't worry about it. Katsumi was in her second year of high school. She and Mayuri were the same age, but were total opposites. Katsumi was boyish and athletic, and when she cosplayed as a male character, she attracted more female kamiko than male ones. She's also like Chie at home. Hey,
the gang's all here. Yeah. Now we don't have to worry about Winter Komimon, do we?
The four friends had gone to cosplay shops along Yugawaya, Maiden's Road, and Tokyo Hands in Ikebukuro, then moved to Akihabara and visited several more. This was all part of their final preparations for Winter Komima. Sure, but it's Mayuri doing almost all of the work. Don't push yourself too hard, okay, Mayuri? See, and not only do we have Chie at home, we also have Yukiko at home. Kaede sounded a little worried. Her real name was Kaede Kurushima, and she used her real name as her cosplay pseudonym. She was 3 years older than Katsumi and in college. Okay. So they're like friend group, but they're like span kind of like middle high school to early college age. Okay, makes sense. Kaede was extremely feminine, and her measurements were just like the ones magazine models claimed to have, but she was very shy. People had tried many times to persuade her to enter the pageant at her college, but she'd always refused, saying, "Normal events are kind of scary." But even so, cosplaying at Komima with the rest of them was something she looked forward to.
She's absolutely correct. I only attend abnormal events.
Yep. Now here's the question. Knowing what we do about Amayuki, should I give her kind of like as also a Suzuha voice? This isn't a spoiler. If you've played any of the other games, you know who this is.
And if you haven't, why are you watching
Why are you
this?
here?
Go ahead and watch the other ones. We've done
So why don't
them
we all help Mayuri and make the outfits together this time?
Amayuki proposed. She had a very noble, elegant features, but the rest of her was easygoing and laid back. Though Katsumi was a fellow girl, she still thought Amayuki was beautiful. Even her light blue, penetrating eyes lacked the arrogance that beautiful women usually possessed. They were filled instead with a friendly light. Her real name was Yuki Amane. She was a senior at Meiji University and in the same club as Kaede. She was the oldest of the four. She had once tried to give up cosplay and focus on job hunting. After just 6 months, she'd given up on work and gone back to costuming. Since then, she'd been spending more time with Katsumi and the others.
Aw, you don't have to help me.
Yeah, so during the first game, when they're talking about Mayuri's cosplay friends, this is the group they're talking about.
Although, Yuki isn't part of it yet, right? Or is she?
No, I thought she was. At least Kaede and Fubuki.
Yeah.
Yuki. Right, because Yuki kind of in the original game, Daru had to go find her, and then she kind of entered their orbit. Right.
Did Daru even find her in the original game, or was that like the spin-off OVA or something?
You know what? I'm not
series?
familiar enough at the top of my head to know for sure.
I feel like
Because the problem is that she appears implicitly in so many parts of the first couple of the first game and its spin-offs, but she like never is given a character sprite on screen.
yeah.
Just like that one CG, I think, which makes it so frustrating for me to like mentally remember like was she here, but whatever. At least Fubuki and Kaede.
Yeah.
Everyone smiled at her, but Mayuri quickly shook her head.
You guys paid for more than half the cost of the supplies, right? That's enough to make Mayushi very happy.
You're making our outfits, so we'd feel bad if we didn't pay. And you know, I've always wanted to make really neat outfits like you do.
Yep. Mayushi's outfits are always really high quality. I'm super grateful.
You see, we really want to help you, Mayuri.
Okay, let's all make them together.
Katsumi knew that it made Mayuri really happy when someone praised her cosplay outfits.
Oh, but there is actually a favor I wanted to ask you guys. Favor? You see...
Mayuri told them about an event that had quickly become a mainstay of the Japanese holiday year.
We're having a Christmas party, so Mayushi was hoping that Yuki and Kaede and Fubuki could all come. Christmas party, huh? Yeah, can you come? I wanna go.
Katsumi's only plan for Christmas Eve was dinner with her family, so she'd raised a hand instantly. None of her friends at school wanted to do anything that night. She'd been a little put out about that, since it meant they all had boyfriends.
I can go as well.
Kaede also nodded, but Yuki seemed a little hesitant.
I don't know if I should go.
Huh? Do you have plans? Well, of course a girl as pretty as Yuki's gonna have a ton of guys asking her out for a Christmas date. What?
That's not true.
Really? Then I'll take you for myself.
I'd rather go on a Christmas date with you than do anything else in the world, Fubuki.
Divergence meter activates.
Somewhere, Suzuha just rushes. No!
Suzuha is still here, but very confused about how.
Daru could still. Hey, could be that they had Daru would be their father.
Yeah.
Suzuha's just having a lot of confusing emotions all at once.
Aw, I love you, Yuki.
I thought you only cared about Mayuri.
I love Mayushi, and I love you too.
Aw.
Katsumi quickly jumped over to Kaede and gave her a big hug. Kaede was soft and smelled good, and enduring this sort of sexual harassment was nothing new for her.
Oh, and Yuki, can you show Mayushi how to make a yummy quiche?
Yuki was an excellent chef and had been teaching Mayuri a lot lately. Both Katsumi and Kaede would also occasionally participate in what they called Yuki Yamane's cooking lessons.
Sure. What kind of quiche are you looking for?
Mayushi thinks spinach and mushroom is good.
Damn, that sounds so good if it didn't have so much cheese in it.
Ham, tomato, and bacon is good too, you know.
Oh, just thinking about it makes me drool. Yeah, I'm not sure.
All right, then I'll teach you how to make both. How's that sound?
Really? That's right. Everyone would be happier if there were lots of different ones, right?
Is this for the Christmas party?
Yep. There's less than a month left, so I want to learn it in time.
All right, then we'll have to train extra hard, right? When do you want to do it? Tomorrow?
Yeah, Mayushi is okay with that.
Katsumi went over her schedule in her head.
Aw, tomorrow, huh? I'm supposed to meet a friend.
Oh, I've got work. Katsumi really wanted to go, so she was pretty disappointed. She would have loved the chance to eat one of Yuki's good quiches. As she thought about the quiche, her stomach began to rumble. It was about time for dinner. Yuki and Mayuri.
Somebody's goggles are active.
Yeah, my bad. Yuki and Mayuri worked out the time and place for their meetup.
The place I'm staying is a little far from here, so...
How about the lab?
All right, yeah, that's fine.
I'll work hard and learn the recipe.
I hope it's a fun party. And that it's not a really misguided effort to try to get two people who have very good reasons to dislike each other to talk to one another again. It's not that, right, Mayuri?
Definitely not, she says, with a great deal of honesty.
So you're saying all of that out loud. I want you to know that. That wasn't internal monologue. You just said that out in front of all of us.
No.
I think it is making your intentions a little transparent, Mayuri.
Yep, Mayushi's gonna make Santa outfits. Will you all wear them?
Wow, you're making even more outfits than the ones we need for Komima? You must be really excited about this.
Mayushi is raring to go.
Mayuri posed like she was cheering.
I appreciate that the degree of coziness of her outfit makes her look like just a Mayuri-shaped rectangle with some hands sticking out the front.
So good. If you're making Santa outfits, I'd like one with a cute miniskirt, and then some white knee socks and red boots and...
Huh? That would look good on you, Kaide, but do you think it would look good on me?
Katsumi spoke to Mayuri and Yuki without any confidence in her voice.
I know you like the cute outfits best.
There was nothing Katsumi could say. She was right. It bothered Katsumi a lot that she looked like a boy, and she knew that sort of clothing didn't look right on her. Still, at heart, she was a young girl and she wanted to wear cute clothes.
Leave it to Mayushi. I'll make clothes that look great on you.
Oh.
Oh, that's my bride. Marry me.
Oh, you're so silly, Fubuki.
Yeah, silly. Yeah, that's what I am.
Oh, so they kind of glossed this over in the anime. I wasn't really prepared to that this was going to be a big thing we delved into. Oh, good. I can't wait for this to be a thing. Watch it in the exact same way Chie's arc does, too.
Don't talk like Daru does. Getting compared to that perverted gentleman kind of hurts.
Oh, by the way, you're gonna wear the Santa outfit too, right, Mayuri?
What?
No. Don't what? Me? You're cute. You should cosplay more.
But I just make the clothes. I don't wear them. Objection. That's a waste. Aw, not you too, Fubuki.
And what's more, I bet Okabe wants to see you in a cute cosplay outfit.
Huh? Okarin?
Mayuri made a weird noise as soon as she heard that name.
Okarin? Oh, Mayushi's boyfriend, right.
This is our first time getting to see his sprite. Look at him.
Depression Okabe!
Oh, look at Depression Okabe. He is so exhausted. Look at the subtle slump. The wearing all black. Right.
Not just all black, but 3 layers of all black. He's got
he's got the jacket,
he's got
the
a jacket,
sweater,
a sweater,
and the
and a
undershirt.
shirt. Yep.
And he's got a red pen in the pocket. You know, there's a pocket protector in there too. Oh, Okabe. Oh my gosh. Someone help this man. Katsumi had met him many times. He was tall, but always looked pale and thin, and whenever he laughed, he seemed kind of sad. But from what Mayuri said, until just half a year ago, he'd been a totally different person. She said he was haughty and arrogant, but also kind and a great leader. Mayuri was known to let her emotions influence her judgment, so Katsumi didn't know how much of that description was accurate.
Well...
Oh no, the Mayuri alarm went off. Hold on, I need to tap her head.
Tuturu Mayushi desu.
Mayuri started to freak out even more after hearing the word boyfriend.
Fubuki, Okarin and Mayushi aren't like that, okay? Aw, come on.
Yuki and Kaede weren't buying it either. Honestly, Okarin and Mayuri seemed more like an old wedded couple that had been together for years than boyfriend and girlfriend.
It's true. Okarin has somebody else he likes. What?
Mayuri sounded totally unconcerned, which made Katsumi even more surprised.
Oh, is that true? Oh, really?
Yep.
But she's dead.
And he killed her, kind of?
Who would have guessed? It was Yuki, the eldest, who spoke first.
I'm sorry, should we not have said anything?
Nah, Mayushi and Okarin are childhood friends and get along great, so it's okay.
Oh, I see.
And she really can't talk to any of them about it, unfortunately.
Yep.
Because even if she's like kind of elliptic about it, right? Then that just brings them stuff they can confront Okabe with, and that's, creates questions he doesn't want to answer about, oh god, I killed the person I loved. Mayuri's smile seemed very sad to Katsumi. She felt the sudden impulse to give her schoolmate a hug.
Anyway.
Oh yay, this music! Mayuri smiled and walked over to Yuki as if to blow away the awkwardness.
So, what about you, Yuki?
Uh-huh, me? What about me?
Yep. So, are you spending Christmas with your boyfriend?
I don't really have one.
Really?
Well, you guys have all got the wrong idea. I'm not that popular. Between you and me, I've never really even had a boyfriend.
What?
First Mayuri, then Yuki. Katsumi was stunned. Is that true?
Well, I didn't think it would be that much of a surprise.
Then Yuki,
Mayuri started to fidget.
Huh?
how about Daru maybe?
She's got a little earpiece in.
All right, Mayuri, you're doing it perfect. Huh? I'm Hashida?
Yep.
Huh.
Wait, where is this coming from, Mayushi? Hashida's a perverted gentleman.
Who knows what he'll do to Yuki? Oh hey, new Daru sprite.
Daru sprite.
The man that Katsumi and Kaede were insulting was Itaru Hashida, a college student and member of Mayuri's club. He was a hardcore otaku, one of the hybrid types, who said he enjoyed both 2- and 3-dimensional girls. And like Katsumi had said, he was a perverted gentleman. He would say perverse things all day without the slightest shame. Whenever you told him he was a pervert, he would say, "No, I am a perverted gentleman." He was a dangerous guy.
That's a good sprite.
That was a very good Daru face. I'm still mad we missed out on some of the Daru route in My Darling's Embrace. Come on. There's only...
Wait, what?
I'm still mad that there wasn't a Daru route in My Darling.
Sorry. You said missed out, and I
Yeah,
thought you meant
missed
there
out.
was one, and we missed it.
No.
And I was like,
Could you
what?
imagine?
I thought.
Come on. There's only one guy he'd let into his butthole, and it's Okabe.
Yep,
This is canon. This was literally part of the first game.
it was.
But Yuki didn't seem bothered. She actually looked a little sad.
Ah, well, Hashida's a nice guy, but, you know, I don't think he likes girls like me.
What?
Mayuri was shocked, far and above her beyond her usual limit. She was so surprised she let go of her suitcase's handle and let it fall to the ground, and instead of picking it up, she started talking frantically.
That's not true. Daru is he really likes you. I'm sure of it. Mayushi guarantees it.
Oh, you know what? I can't wait to see some of the, because it gets brought up a little bit in the anime, kind of as like a palate cleanser, but like the tension between Daru and his future daughter on one hand, who's got a very invested interest in a relationship going one way,
Mm-hmm.
and also trying to organically court someone who has none of this knowledge.
Remember how he acted when we met him at Summer Komima?
Yuki had met Mayuri 4 months ago at Summer Komima. Katsumi and Kaede had come wearing outfits that Mayuri made. Okay, so there we go. Kaede had found Yuki at the convention hall all by herself, and they met up. Afterward, they'd all gone to a party where she'd met Mayuri's friend Itaru Hashida. They were localized in the other direction in all the other games,
Yep.
haven't? Yeah, and I'm just having a moment where they're like, "No, what if we did it this way instead?" And I'm like, "Ah!" Katsumi had definitely witnessed Yuki and Itaru having a friendly conversation. Ever since then, Yuki and Mayuri and Daru had become friends, and Yuki started going to Mayuri's club, the Future Gadget Laboratory.
Which is now Mayushi's club
Yeah, which is now Mayushi's club.
because Okabe doesn't show up anymore.
But it's still getting used as the cosplay club.
Yep.
And notably, Okabe is still paying the rent on it. I assume.
What if he's not?
Yeah, I don't know if it's brought up or not, but I assume that he's still paying the rent on it. And I think that because probably part of him doesn't want to let fully go. I bet something like, I don't know, maybe we'll find out. In other words, Yuki and Itaru had been talking ever since Summer Kamima. But still, Yuki chuckled sadly and shook her head.
No. Oh, wrong one.
Oh, I can tell. He's avoiding me. So I'm thinking it's probably best if I don't go to the Christmas party.
Aww.
I think Hashida likes girls who are more like a little sister. And a big sister who's really strong-willed and who bosses her big brother around.
Aww.
Like maybe Suzuha?
That's... That's...
I know you have no way of knowing this, Yuki, but no. No. For some reason, Mayuri looked like she was about to cry. She seemed to want to say something, but couldn't bring herself to. Her lips were quivering.
Oh, Mayuri, what's going on?
It's nothing.
But it certainly didn't look like nothing.
Mayuri, abort! Get out of there! We'll try again tomorrow!
Katsumi couldn't bear to watch her anymore, and so she gave in to her impulses.
Mayushi, don't make that face. You look cutest when you smile. Come on, if you don't smile, I'll tickle you. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Stop.
Katsumi snuck behind Mayuri and started to tickle her under her arms.
You give up? Oh, Fubuki, you're so mean. You're too cute, Mayushi.
Why is this
Why does this have a CG?
Why does this have a CG? They're like, you know who missed out on the boob grabbing last game? It wasn't enough that we had to do it with Luca for that whole CG. Why don't we just get a CG of Fubuki doing it to Mayuri, huh? Lesbians can grab boobs too, I think is the takeaway here. Mayuri was laughing so hard that she was crying, and this time Katsumi succeeded in giving her a hug. Even though they were in public, she started rubbing her cheek against her.
Mayushi, I like you. I love you. What? Hey, Fubuki.
This is 100% consensual. Everyone here wants this and is agreeing to this.
I want to take you home and lick you forever.
There are definitely no predatory lesbian tropes here. Nah, none whatsoever. I wouldn't worry about it.
But that would be really bad. I don't care if it's bad. Marry me. I can't do that.
Mayuri tried to run away, but Fubuki grabbed her and started to kiss her all over. Wonderful!
All right.
Wonderful! That's delightful. Yeah, yep, that's really great. So you're telling me the
kinda
anime was
tired.
toned down? Wow, okay.
That's Mayushi's line.
In the end, Katsumi kept clinging to Mayuri until they reached the station. She felt a lot better, but catching Mayuri when she tried to escape used up a lot of energy. Either way, now that she was satisfied... Oh, that's not good! She shuddered and turned back towards Mayuri as an image came into her mind out of nowhere.
Hey, Mayushi? What is it? Let's cosplay together at Winter Komima, okay? I told you before, right? For Winter Komima, Mayushi is just going to make things. That's fine, just make sure you come to Winter Komima with the three of us, okay? Of course, that's what we did all this shopping for, right? Yeah, but still, it's a promise, okay? Yeah, it's a promise.
Mayuri and Yuki split up with them in front of the station since they were taking a different train.
Title drop!
What? Oh, different train?
Yeah.
Oh, you were title dropping the Steve Reich piece? Okay, I was very confused. I was sitting here for a moment like, no one said Steins Gate or Zero. No one said Steins Gate or Zero. What the hell is going on? What the fuck is happening here?
Bye-bye.
Good night, Mayuri and Yuki. Bye. Have a good night.
Toot-toot-oo. Bye-bye.
Katsumi stood still and watched the two of them until they were out of sight. She felt like she was about to cry and looked up to stop the tears from falling.
Fubuki?
Huh?
I'm still here. I know I'm quiet, but keep forgetting about me.
Kaide was standing next to her, looking worried.
What's wrong?
I'm sorry, it's nothing.
Oh, it's not nothing. Is there something going on with Mayuri? Please, tell me.
Even after Kaide asked, Katsumi wasn't sure she should tell her. There was no way she'd believe it anyway.
You were more hyper than usual today. It felt really forced.
You noticed.
Yeah, of course I did.
Katsumi and Kaide had known each other for 2 years. Since their ages were so different, they treated each other like an older and younger sister, so at times like this, Kaide was really sharp. Kaide didn't talk much, but that meant she paid a lot of attention to the people around her. Part of it was also that Katsumi wasn't good at hiding things. She just couldn't lie to Kaide no matter what. She gave up and decided to say it.
Mayushi,
Yeah?
she's going to die.
What? What do you mean?
Katsumi remembered the nightmares and the things she kept seeing no matter how much she didn't want to.
I have these dreams.
Dreams?
They started in summer, I think. Every night I have dreams about Mayushi dying. Each time you and I are there crying and crying, but there's nothing we can do.
Oh,
The one I had last night was the worst. Mayushi just collapses right in front of us and she stops moving. Ocarina is screaming and holding her. He's screaming so loud. What happened to me? Why do I keep having these dreams?
Oh, calm down, Fubuki. It's probably just because you're tired.
Is it? Is it really?
You saw Mayuri today. She was fine, right?
Kaede gave Katsumi a gentle shoulder hug.
Nudge. So it's all right.
I don't want Mayushi to die.
That's impossible. It won't happen.
Ever?
Ever.
Okay.
Kaide's words made Katsumi calm down a little. She was glad to have an older friend like this.
Poor Fubuki being wrong game savvy.
Absolutely wrong game set.
We're on the other world line.
Yep, everything turned out fine. But as we talked about, and as the other games make clear, everyone's got reading Steiner to different levels, right? Depending on how explicit you make things, you can make people kind of remember things. I think the implication here is meant to be that while she doesn't have like perfect reading Steiner like Okabe does, she definitely has it to a larger degree than some other people do. And since her best friend there is the center of a worldline convergence that was visited several times, some of that is bleeding over.
Seems like it.
Woohoo!
Anyway, it's just your imagination. There's no way something that awful could happen.
Her hand squeezed Katsumi's shoulder tightly. Being held like this made Katsumi feel a lot better.
Sorry for being weird.
But that night, she had the nightmares again.
Oh, hey, I get to do one now.
There are so many non-Okabe perspectives in this. I was not ready for that.
Yeah.
Ah!
Suzuha Amane was about to run out of patience. The cause was the young man in the room with her, her father, Itaru Hashida, a.k.a. Daru. His massively obese body was leaning forward over a computer monitor, and he had a dopey grin on his face. He'd finally gotten up around 11 a.m., gulped down 3 cups of instant ramen, and was now surfing the internet.
No. Whoa. What? Wait, Normies Must Die P and Parthenon are husband and wife? Nobody told me about this. And wait, his handle is Normies Must Die, but he's a normal. He's got a wife. That's not fair. I thought he was on the side of us loners. This means war. It's trolling time. Whoa, TIL that @Chan and Tweeter are already pissed off. I missed the boat. I need to go back and look at the timeline again.
Dad!
Yes?
That is what Suzuha called her father. It's who he was, after all, so there was nothing else to call him. Suzuha was a time traveler from the year 2036, and 7 years from now, he would become her father.
Stop screwing around! All you ever do is lie around and eat, or look at the internet, or play video games. I told you that nothing but instant noodles and snacks will make you sick, but that's all you ever eat.
In fact, his PC desk was covered with snacks. She cleaned it regularly, but it never seemed to make a difference.
And I keep telling you to exercise, but you never do.
Suzuha realized that she was complaining more than usual, but she had to say it anyway.
At this rate, in the future,
And then she realized that Itaru wasn't even listening to her. His eyes were fixed on the computer monitor. He'd move his mouse out of sight, but she could still hear him clicking it.
Listen to me.
Suzuha approached her father from behind, put the hairspray can she'd been hiding up to his neck.
Ah.
Itaru seemed to think it was a gun. He stuck his hands up. Threats like this worked. They worked because she told him that she'd survived the Third World War and the Wars of Chaos of 2036, and that she was ready to draw a gun and pull the trigger whenever she needed to. Right. So in the other world lines from the original game, What they were preventing was a CERN dystopia.
Mhm.
This is in the beta world line here. What happens is World War III,
Yep.
right? Which they've already explained how that breaks out, right?
Nope.
They haven't explained how it breaks out yet.
I don't think so.
I don't. Well, whatever. It's different flavor of bad.
So, is this Suzuha strapped? Did she have a future gun with her?
I don't remember if she did or not. It's entirely conceivable she has a future gun with her.
Suzuha, if you don't stop, Daddy's gonna get mad.
At least she's shown enough of it to get Daru to believe that she could.
Mm-hmm.
I am getting mad at you right now.
Right. Sorry. But you know about my secret job, right? I'm pretty busy with that. When you're as good a hacker as I am, there are always a ton of offers. I don't have time to eat real food, right? And there's the time difference with overseas clients, so sometimes I'm like up all night.
In the future, you used to say that all the time then. You used to say that all the time, and then Mom would always get mad at you.
Ugh.
Even if, for the sake of argument, we can't do anything about your sleep schedule, I can't let you keep eating all this unhealthy food. You will stop immediately. Got it?
But work's hard, and so's the time machine research. I need to relax.
So's the what now?
You just use that as an excuse to slack off. You're being a spoiled brat, Dad.
Suzuha was always amazed that her dad managed to survive the future's wars, but since the time machine research would affect the future, and eventually Suzuha's very presence here, she couldn't tell him to stop. Even after Rintaro Okabe stopped coming to the Future Gadget Lab, Itaru had kept working on the time machine all by himself. Suzuha never said a word about it. If she did, it might create a time paradox.
Just remember, you can't examine the time machine that just came from the future to build your own.
She decided to warn him again.
I know that, but sometimes I lose confidence. Can I really make a time machine?
Of course you can. Hang in there.
Okay.
Demonstrably. Demonstrably you can. Look, see? I'm here.
That should be like the ultimate confidence giver. Like, you already get to see the proof that you'll succeed. Suzuha took the hairspray can off of his neck.
Hey, I was sure that was a gun, and it wasn't. How can you trick your own dad?
I'll use a real one next time, all right?
Thank you. That's all I ask.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You taught me better than that. If you're going to threaten someone, make sure it's a legitimate one.
Anyway, please don't.
Oh,
Suzuha put the can of hairspray back on the shelf. It was something Rintaro Okabe had left there when he'd lived in the lab. It was still here, since its owner never came back for it.
So that's Okarin's hairspray.
Yep.
We now know he deliberately styles his hair, or did,
To
to
look
look
like
messy in the way that it did.
Awesome.
That's good. You know, in manga and video games, it's always really cute when a girl scolds her dad. Suzuha, can you try to say, "Ah, geez, don't do that, Papa," in a really sweet voice, if you can? Never mind.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Her dad shrank from Suzuha's glare.
Shrink glare.
Ah.
Nice. I also like how we unintentionally have got accidentally paired off our side characters' POVs very well.
Yeah.
So that way we're not really talking to ourselves in any of these scenes.
Yeah, I hope it keeps up like this.
Yeah, I hope that keeps up like that. That's good. There was a lot of it in the beginning with the Maho and Okabe scenes, but
And there will be a lot more of those.
there'll be more of that. But like as there's the more and more of the cast roles in, it'll be less and less of me talking just to myself.
Yeah.
I don't apologize for that. I wasn't gonna let anyone else have Maho. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Suzuha sighed loudly and dropped herself on the sofa. She leaned back against the headrest and stared at the ceiling and then closed her eyes.
What's wrong?
It's nothing.
You can't hide it from me. When you say it's nothing, that means I want you to listen to me, right?
Huh?
Come on, tell me.
Daru sounded very serious. Suzuha's eyes went wide for a moment, but then she realized.
That line. That was in the girl game you were playing earlier, wasn't it?
Ugh.
That's the phrase that triggers the flag, right?
She'd been living here for about 3 months. She was starting to learn a little about Akihabara's culture circa 2010. I would argue that even if Daru's... he was still saying the right thing, even if it took him a while the wrong way to get there. Like, it's about what he does, right?
Dad, you'd better not be thinking about trying to take my route, okay?
I'm not. I wouldn't do that to my own daughter.
Really? I always wondered about you in the future.
Huh?
Even after I hit puberty, you always kept asking me to take baths with you.
What? That's scary.
I was in the military, and you were always working on the time machine, so we couldn't always be together, but you always got huggy around me. It was honestly kind of obnoxious.
Uh,
Her dad looked honestly depressed, and then she realized that she'd gone too far.
You always said to me, this is the worst worldline possible, but your birth was the best thing that could have happened. I don't want to disappoint the future you, Dad. So I need to convince Uncle Ocarine, no matter what.
it's okay. I'll never be disappointed.
Really?
Yeah, I've hit rock bottom.
But... Holy shit, you're just gonna out say it, alright. But, Uncle, he just won't listen to me. He's not going back to the past like this. He won't rescue Kurisu Makise, and he won't reach Steins Gate.
I mean, all of us just got out of Steins Gate. We're on to 0.
No, not... Son of a bitch. No, not the game, the world line. Stop with the meta.
Steins Gate. That was the name of the mysterious world line her dad had told her about in 2036, where World War III might not occur. Leading Rintaro Okabe to that world line was her mission.
I do like that that's the hope, where World War III might not occur.
Right.
Because we even despite getting a good end in Steins Gate, we have no idea what happens on the Steins Gate world line past a couple months.
Right.
We just know that it wasn't bad enough for Suzu to come back.
Exactly. And I think that's like good, because what they're basing this on is what this amounts to is that they in the future have determined that the best way to avert World War III is to make sure Kurisu Makise lives.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're not saying that well, obviously that alone isn't going to make it better, because some of the world lines they get onto are ones, if Kurisu Makise just lives, then that goes back to the original Steins Gate game, right? That's why that all happens.
Yep.
Is just her. It's not enough for her to just live. Remember, the way you get the good ending in Steins Gate is she has to live, but Okabe Rintaro has to believe that she's died in that moment.
Yep.
But regardless,
what if they're all searching for this Steins Gate world line, thinking it's the better one, because no one had to come back from it and tell them it wasn't. But
and
then it
actually
turns
sucks.
out that actually the reason no one's come back is because in about a year, a comet smashes into the Earth and knocks it off course into the sun.
Actually,
and no one ever has time to invent a time machine.
We know it gets to at least the 2030 somethings.
Oh. Interesting.
Yep. Because that's when Anonymous Code takes place.
So Anonymous Code is on, canonically, the Steins Gate world line.
I believe it is, yes, because it doesn't have any of the signs of World War III, and it doesn't have the CERN dystopia happening.
And Robotics Notes probably is, too.
Yes, Robotics Notes is as well. And Robotics Notes is just generally fine, I guess?
Yep, although also early enough that you could still hypothetically end up with a dystopia later or something.
You could end up with a dystopia later, but we'll learn reasons to believe this later, but like any dystopia that happens after that point would have to be unrelated. So basically, like, they're averting this series of dystopias. That doesn't guarantee the world is going to be a good place forever. It just means that this particular set of ones have been avoided.
The
And
Steins
as
Gate
Anonymous
worldline.
Code shows, there are still some shitty things that can happen in a world where... I won't spoil what happens in Anonymous Code, but it's out now. You should go read it.
The Steins Gate world line is the "It's all Ohio, always has been" world
Oh,
line.
shit, it's all Ohio. No. Man. I'm thinking about Anonymous Code again. Game was good.
I'm thinking about that nightmare I had last night about being stuck in Ohio.
No, it wasn't. The worst part was that it wasn't that you were stuck in Ohio. It was that you were stuck in either Ohio or Idaho, and you couldn't tell which.
It was a dream logic, okay? I just know that it was two places sort of in the middle that I don't normally go to and I don't live in.
Both equally hellish options, I believe. Actually, you know what? I've got no qualms with Idaho. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that, folks. If you're from Boise, I'm sorry. Y'all make good potatoes.
I've never been to either place, and probably they are both fine.
Yeah, well, no, Ohio. Ohio knows what they did. Anyway, right now, this all wasn't going well. Suzuha had come to 2010, and just like the mission had called for, she succeeded in sending Rintaro Okabe to July 28th, but then he'd failed. And he wasn't going to try again. Every time they met, she'd tried to convince him, but who knew if her words were having any effect?
In the end, this world line will converge into the Third World War, and many people will be killed. I came here to change that, but maybe fate says that I can't.
Suzuha had something else she had to do here in Akihabara in December 2010, besides convincing Rintaro Okabe. And it meant she was running around every day. The exhaustion was starting to take its toll on her. During the war, she'd been able to keep herself sharp at all times, and this level of exhaustion wouldn't have meant anything. The relaxed atmosphere of 2010 was actually making her realize how tired she was. She was feeling very sleepy right now, actually. She was surprised at how willing she was to fall asleep in such an undefended position, but she didn't think she could beat the temptation. And then suddenly she felt something extremely cold on the back of her neck.
Hiya!
She snapped awake in an instant. Her movements after that were lightning quick. She jumped up, slid behind the massive body in front of her, which obviously belonged to Itaru, then grabbed his arm and twisted it as she dropped him to the floor. She went to draw the gun at her hip, and her hand swiped through empty air. And then she came back to reality. Her gun was hidden. She wasn't carrying
It's canon.
Yes.
Suzu, is it Beta World Line? Is that the one we're on? Or,
Yeah, we're on beta right now.
Beta Suzu is strapped.
Yep. This wasn't 2036.
Ow, ouchies.
2 cans of Dr. P clattered to the floor. That must have been what he'd put on her neck.
What are you doing, Dad?
Getting you back.
Ah! I was half asleep, so I almost killed you.
What?
Ah! I've told you, that is how I have been trained. That could have turned out really badly for you.
Fine, just let me go. This really hurts.
Ah!
Pro tip, don't do this to people who clearly have PTSD.
Yeah, don't do that.
Ah! Sheesh.
Suzuha let her father go.
Ow.
Itaru rubbed his arm and stood up, then grabbed the cans of Dr. P off the floor. He offered one to Suzuha.
Anyway, you're giving up too soon. Keep at it a little longer. I think Okarin's just tired and sleeping. Put some cold Dr. P up to his neck like I just did, and he'll wake up.
Ah.
I mean, it's Okarin we're talking about.
Yeah.
She realized her dad was trying to cheer her up and nodded. Then she'd heard footsteps coming up the stairs, and some slightly off-key humming.
Ah!
Their eyes met. Just the sound was enough to tell them who it was.
Hide, Suzuha.
Okie dokie. Ah!
Suzuha moved fast, maybe even faster than when she knocked her father to the ground. She quickly and silently jumped behind the curtain that separated the lab's development room from the rest of it. Just as she hid beneath the desk, there was a knock at the door.
Hello?
Suzuha knew that voice, of course. It was her mom. She could tell from the noises he was making that her dad was panicking. There was another knock.
Mayuri? Are you there?
Right. I'm coming.
I don't know how different they sound. I'm trying to make them sound different while also the same. You know what? I don't know that I'm 60. I'm not a voice artist. I don't know shit. I'm just someone who plays games on the internet and tries their best. Itaru went to open the door. Suzuha took a deep breath and concentrated her mind. She remembered the time she'd spent 3 days and 3 nights on a battlefield with no food and nothing to drink, constantly aiming her rifle at the target. She erased any trace of her presence that could give her away. Her breathing started to become shallow.
Dad, don't screw this up, okay?
Amaneshi, you're meeting Mayushi today.
Itaru came back into the room with a girl.
Yeah, we were supposed to practice cooking together.
She could hear plastic bags rustling. He must have brought the ingredients.
Mayushi's not here yet.
Oh, I see. Maybe I'm a little bit too early.
Yuki Amane. Just as the name Amane suggested, she was Suzuha's mother in the future. In other words, the two of them in the other room were supposed to get married.
Well, if you two were supposed to meet, I'm sure she'll get here eventually, right?
Oh, can I wait here?
Of course, you're going to be cooking here, right?
Yep, I hope you'll do some taste testing for us, Tashida.
I don't know if I want to eat Mayushi's cooking.
Don't worry, Mayuri's gotten a lot better lately.
Huh.
Itaru was clearly nervous. As far as Suzuha knew, the only girl he acted that way around was Yuki Amane. Suzuha and Mayuri were practically family, and he got along fine with Big Sis Rumi, and Ferris Nyan, who worked at the maid cafe next door. So it wasn't that he didn't know how to act around girls. But for some reason, he always acted different when she was around. Because you've put it in his mind that he needs to get together with this woman, otherwise you won't. You've made this an existential threat. That's and something that requires an amount of subtlety and interpersonal knowledge that Daru just isn't ready to deal with. Right?
Can we also talk about Suzuha calls Ferris Big Sis Rumi?
Oh, that means she gave out her name in the future, huh?
Yeah. To Suzuha specifically.
Suzuha
Nobody else
specifically.
calls her that.
No one else
That's
is allowed
interesting.
to. Interesting. Or maybe she stopped going by Ferris Nyan at some point.
She didn't.
Never mind. There's no way that's...
Yeah, we just saw her last episode. She definitely didn't stop going by Ferris.
In the future?
Oh, at some point in the future. Oh,
At some point in the future is what I'm saying.
Yeah, what happens to her in the future?
I'm trying to remember if we see her.
I guess we'll find out.
I guess we'll find out. I don't want to share knowledge of what happens here. If it hasn't been clear, we're talking about speculation and stuff like this. We both know what happens in the broad strokes of the main route.
Speak for yourself. I have the memory span of a goldfish.
That's
I've
fair.
forgotten most of what happens in this game other than the beginning and the end.
Fair enough.
I remember how it ends and I remember how it begins.
But we are still going to be talking around any spoilers that we're aware of.
Yeah.
So.
And I will absolutely accidentally spoil things.
Absolutely.
And then you will get weird editing cuts.
That's fine. What did we do? She told him that Yuki would be his wife someday. It was too late to do anything about it now, but maybe that was a mistake, she thought.
Oh, is your sister not here today?
Huh. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Itaru Hashida's sister was none other than Suzuha herself. Around the same time Suzuha had started spending all of her time in the lab, Yuki had become friends with Mayuri and Itaru and begun visiting more frequently. Which meant that avoiding her was almost impossible, and so she was forced to tell Yuki that she was Itaru's little sister. But still, she'd wanted to keep contact to a minimum in order to keep Yuki from finding out somehow. That was why she was hiding.
Oh, right. What do you think of this outfit? I just bought it.
They didn't have back and side sprites in original Steins Gate.
They didn't. They had a lot of the same pose, but I don't think they had alternate. They had alternate poses, but they all kind of kept the face in the same place, if I remember correctly. There's definitely a lot more sprite work
And the facial expressions feel more expressive this time around. It's interesting seeing the art style evolve.
Yeah. You can tell this is definitely a step up from the original Steins Gate. Like the spin-off games, My Darling's Embrace, Linear Bound and Pentagram, were definitely made with the same engine, same base sprites, and all that stuff. This is definitely taking things a step up. Even though this is the same background from the original game.
Yeah.
As you can tell from the speckling. Yuki showed no signs of noticing Suzuha. She was twirling around the center of the room as if she was at a fashion show. Yuki was a cosplayer and wanted as many people as possible to see her dressed up. Mayuri had told Suzuha that once before. In fact, Yuki and Mayuri spent a lot of time complimenting each other's outfits.
Yup, it's great. Really great.
Oh, really?
It's like, whoa, an angel for the win.
Thank you, Daru. You should dress up too, Hashira. Just lose a tiny bit of weight. I think you look wonderful. I'm serious, you know.
Oh.
Itaru Hashida and Yuki Yamane. As she listened to their awkward conversation, Suzuha remembered the last time she'd said goodbye to her dad. Oh, we're going to see future Daru now, huh?
Are we? Oh.
Yeah, we are. Oh, we're getting our first peek in the future. So this is World War III future, not CERN dystopia future.
Dad, the peacekeeping squads have reached Matsubashi.
Which means it's only a matter of time until they find this place. I guess the false information I leaked didn't do us any good.
Let's hurry.
Yep, I'm opening it up.
Are we going to get to see future Daru? Nice.
What is this rooftop, huh?
Yeah, right?
Wow, I had no idea there was a door here. Nobody will ever find this, huh? Come on inside. What is this place?
Give us future sprites. Hey, there we go. Well, there's a whole lot to take in here, huh? The room was almost totally empty and was covered from top to bottom in soundproofing materials. Wait, I thought future Daru was actually like really thin for some reason. Is he on the other world line but not this one?
Maybe.
The room was almost totally empty, covered from top to bottom in soundproofing materials. Not only were there no windows, there wasn't even a door into the hallway. Nothing else important going on in this CG.
Yeah, definitely not an inexplicable fourth person we haven't met.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Also, I like how future Mayushi is wearing exactly the same thing she wears. It makes sense for Suzuha, because that's the outfit she goes back in time in. But
yeah.
Why is future Mayuri wearing the... I guess so you know it's her.
I found my comfy zone, and then I never exited it. Ever. Exactly.
It just gets bigger. The building they were in was once a symbol of old Akihabara before it was almost entirely destroyed by an air raid during the last days of the Third World War. Only a few people knew about the secret room inside of it. The biggest reason it was its secret, the silhouette of what looked like a satellite sitting in the corner.
And the inexplicable tiny Kurisu in it
I
as
don't
well.
know. She doesn't look anything like Kurisu. What are you talking about?
Oh, this is the time machine, isn't it?
Oh, I should probably voice her. Yeah, and also because it like explicitly she has a notably different voice. So,
Okay.
Oh, is this the time machine?
Kagari, it's dangerous, so don't get too close, okay? Suzuha spoke to the little girl clutching Mayuri's hand. Most of the children in this era had skin inflammation somewhere on their body from all the radioactive rain, but she didn't. Her name was Kagari Shina.
Okay, so it's Fallout.
Yep,
The Beta World line is Fallout.
Her registration form said she was 10 years old, but no one knew if that was true. She was an orphan who'd lost her parents in the Tokyo air raids when she was a baby, and no one even knew her birthday. The name Kagari had been given to her by Mayuri, who was working at the child welfare center that had taken her in. She took it from the word Kagaribi, meaning bonfire, and hoped that she could be a light even in these dark days. It's been 4 years since Mayuri had adopted her, and the name on the registration form had become Kagari Shina.
Oh, it's pretty, Mommy. It's pretty.
Yeah, it is.
Suzuha motioned for the Shinas to step back and put her right hand and right eye up to the time machine's sensor. The biometrics check cleared and the hatch slid open. She went inside and fastened herself into the seat.
We've never done a manned jump of this length before, but the technology is just fine. Just do it like the test jumps.
Okie dokie.
Suzuha began to flip switches, working her way through the startup procedure. She'd practiced it hundreds of times in preparation for this day. The faint rumble from the machine began to get louder.
According to the data, the spot we're in now was the roof of the old radio building. There's a gap of about a meter, so when you land, there's going to be an impact.
Roger.
The time machine could move through time, but not space. To arrive at the radio building more than 60 years in the past, she needed to launch from
Point
right
of
here.
order.
Okay, nope, no, we're not doing this. We're just accepting it, okay? We're not gonna have this argument. I know you want to. Just let this happen, okay? The frame of reference is Earth. At some point about that, when they say move through time but not space, they made it so that way it's anchored to Earth. Okay?
Okay.
Can we just accept that?
No.
Well, then what point of reference would you prefer?
There aren't any good ones.
Right? Exactly. It's like
doesn't
you think you're
exist.
like, oh, I'm being clever because it could be any. But then like, no, there's no reason to prefer any of those.
Exactly, so the whole thing doesn't make sense.
So then just let it be.
No.
Why are you like this?
We both studied philosophy.
I
You know
know.
exactly why we're
I know
like
exactly
this.
why. But I'm also able to suspend my disbelief for clearly silly science fiction.
Me too, but I'm gonna grumble about it.
All right.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
To arrive at the radio building more than 60 years in the past, she needed to launch from right here.
Grumble, grumble, grumble. Even if something happens, stay calm. Remember your training.
I'll be fine. I believe in your machine, Dad.
Her words must have meant a lot to him because he stuck out his lips toward her. She squished them back with her hand.
That's creepy. Don't do that.
That makes me sad. You not like your daddy, Suzuha?
When you do it, it seems like you mean something else, Dad.
Come on, I wouldn't think of my own daughter that way.
So who was it saying you're starting to remind me of your mother, pant?
Her mother wasn't here. She'd become a victim of the war, brutally killed by the peacekeeping squads.
Don't take my jokes seriously, please.
Oh, so she's never gotten a chance to meet her mother in this one. Because in the other world line, she did know who her mother was. And she was purposely withholding that from Daru. In the Alpha world lines.
What? It was a joke?
Suzuha's voice sounded kind of disappointed. She set the destination for August 13th, 1975. Her first mission was there.
That does it. All right, Dad.
She's about to say her goodbyes. But then,
Ah! That was from the roof. They're coming in.
Damn it, they're faster than I thought.
Suzuha drew her gun from her holster. She's about to get out of the time machine, but her dad stopped her.
No, just go.
But you'll...
We'll be fine. Just go, Suzuha.
No, I can't.
Mayushi, get Kagari in there. Huh? There's room for another person in here.
Mayuri and Suzuha's father picked up the stunned Kagari and stuffed her into the time machine.
Suzu, take care of Kagari.
All right.
If Suzuha's mission succeeded, the world line would be rebuilt, and it was likely that the present Kagari would cease to exist. It might have been pointless to send her. But even so, a mother wants her child to live. That's how Suzuha's mom was, too.
Mommy?
Kagari finally seemed to understand what was going on. She called out to her mom.
No, I don't want to go.
It's okay, Kagari. Suzu's with you, okay?
No, I want to go with you.
If you go to the past, you'll see the old me. I'll be a lot younger than I am now. I bet you'll be surprised. I will be too.
Mayuri handed Kaguri a tiny keychain. It looked old. It may have been a brightly colored green once, but it was now completely faded. I wonder what it is.
Hey,
Oh, they even show it. That's so nice.
this is Mommy's Upa keychain. I'm giving it to you. Take good care of it, okay?
Once it was pressed firmly into Kaguri's hand, she stepped back. Mayuri was smiling, but weeping at the same time.
No, I don't want to go. I want to stay with you, Mommy. Mommy.
No. Kagari, be quiet.
Huh? Kaguri fell silent immediately. Even Suzuha had never heard Mayuri use that tone of voice. That's how harshly she scolded her daughter.
Mommy.
Kaguri was quietly weeping, unmoving.
I'm closing the hatch.
This time, the hatch really did begin to close. The inside of the time machine and the outside of it, the two worlds were about to be completely cut off from one another. Whether Suzuha's mission was successful or not, she would probably never see any of them again.
Suzu, make sure you take care of Kagari. And tell Ocarine that Steins Gate really exists. I was in that game.
So was I think.
Maybe.
It's unclear if it's the same me.
Tell him, don't give up no matter what, you moron.
Okie dokie.
And then the door was sealed shut, and Mayuri and Itaru's voices disappeared along with the chaos outside.
Dad, I love you.
She whispered toward the door, now sealed shut.
Let's go, Kaguri. To the past.
She booted up the time machine.
So this is interesting. This is not the order that these events were revealed in the anime, right?
I don't believe so, no. Also, really interesting note here. Where the hell is Kaguri?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it
We just
seems
saw
like
her go
half
back in
of
time.
Suzu's mission must not have worked out.
Yeah. And also, her first step was to go back to 1975. So this was getting to 2010s, July, right? July of 2010
Mhm.
to see Okabe Rintaro was not her first mission. She had something else to do. And also, Kaguri is not here anymore.
Did she lose Kagari at a Bee Gees concert?
Staying alive. Staying alive.
Oh
Were they around in 75? Please tell me that's accurate.
no! I think they were. Their heyday was before that.
Really?
Pretty sure. Early 70s, right?
We're gonna find out.
Hashida, where's the vacuum?
Suzuha
Holy
snapped-
shit. They were formed in 1958?
Yeah, Bee Gees were around for a long fucking time.
Yeah. All right.
Now you know. Suzuha snapped back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Yuki was getting closer to the development room she was hiding in.
It's right behind that curtain. Oh, crap.
Oh, behind the curtain, huh?
I'll get it.
Itaru motioned for her to stop, then quickly slid into the room. He reached down to pick the vacuum up off the floor, his gaze locked with Suzuha's as she hid onto the desk.
Make sure she doesn't find out, Dad.
Okie dokie.
Oh, did you find the vacuum?
Oh, yes.
Evidently, Yuki was trying to be nice by cleaning up. The place was pretty messy right now. Knowing Yuki's personality, Suzuha could imagine she'd want to clean it. Itaru grabbed what looked like a vacuum cleaner off the floor, then left the development room.
Oh, what is that thing?
Future gadget number 5.
Once again, I've made a worthless object by Goemon.
If you take it apart, you can use it as a normal vacuum.
Oh, a vacuum's just supposed to clean. If you take it apart, won't that just make more of a mess?
Uh,
Oh, you're so smart, Hashida, but Sometimes you can be so silly.
You think so?
But you know, I kind of like people like that.
What did you say?
Itaru started to panic again, and Suzuha sighed.
But I think you really do need to reconsider the way you live. You should clean every day if you can. This place gets really dusty. And that's not all. There's also what you eat. You had instant ramen again today, didn't you?
How did you know?
There was a half-eaten cup of ramen in the kitchen.
I see.
And look at all these snacks. I tell you all the time that you eat too much.
I do try to watch it, you know.
Lying isn't good enough. If you keep eating nothing but cup noodles and snacks, you're gonna get sick, okay? Also, you need to exercise a little.
Like mother, like daughter.
Yeah. Yuki Amani was saying the exact same thing that Suzuha had just said. Perhaps they really were mother and child. Suzuha was just beginning to feel a little homesick when she sensed another visitor approaching.
Toot-toot-oo.
The door to the lab opened, and a greeting she'd heard many times before resounded throughout the room.
Sorry, Yuki. I'm a little late.
It was Mayuri coming to see Yuki, but there was another presence there too.
Oh, hi there, Mayuri. I see that Okabe's with you.
Oh, Okarin. It's been forever, man.
Wow, it's amazing how much he looks like depression. Yeah, it has. When she heard his voice, Suzuha ground her teeth a little. Are we back to Okabe?
Looks like it.
Awesome.
Interesting.
What did you say?
Didn't you hear me? I said it was interesting.
Oh. You're not going to tell me where you want to go, are you?
I'd love to.
Oh, I shouldn't have told you. I was standing in the middle of Ikebukuro with a smartphone in one hand, staring up at the sky. I've been trying to talk to the Amadeus Kurisu as much as possible lately. Sometimes I would contact her, and sometimes Kurisu would contact me. It didn't feel any different than having a friend who lived in the real world. Talking on a smartphone in a crowded place like this was a little embarrassing, but I told myself that compared to the things I used to do, it was nothing. I'd chosen harmless topics for our discussion, but it still reminded me so much of talking to the old Kurisu that I sometimes forgot myself. I'd done that just now when I accidentally told her about the lab. She had seized on it.
So this lab you were talking about, did the original me ever go there?
Yeah, no.
Well, that tells me nothing. Which is it?
Never. Kurisu had been part of the lab in the Alpha worldline. On this worldline, she'd died before ever becoming a lab member. Of course, she'd never even known where it was. You seem to have the wrong idea, so let me straighten you out. We call it a lab, but it's not. It's just a group of people messing around. And Suzuha was living there right now, and Daru spent a lot of time there. They found out about Kurisu, things could get complicated.
I'd prefer it if you would finish your sentences.
It's nothing.
Either way, I want to see more of the outside world. All the times I've talked to Maho and the professor, it's been inside the lab.
Oh, that's why I'm out here early on a Sunday morning, taking you around Ikebukuro. 10 a.m., even at this hour, the area in front of Ikebukuro station was crowded. It was going to get even more crowded as it got closer to noon. I was willing to take you to Maiden's Road if I had to.
What's that?
Oh, there's a whole world there you know nothing about.
Wait, I just looked it up.
That tiny little side eye has so much in it. I love it. Are you really interested?
Of course not. Anyway, take me to this lab of yours today. Now that you've told me about it, you need to take responsibility. Got it?
And then she hung up. It was like I was her own personal taxi service. Kurisu couldn't move around on her own, so there was no getting around that, but Oh, she is so selfish. Gate.
Gate.
Gate. Oh God. Gate. The, the conspiracy. Gate. She didn't seem to think very highly of me. At this rate, she might start treating me worse than a servant. The real Kurisu was one thing, or... No, maybe it wasn't. But being treated that way by the artificial Kurisu was incredibly humiliating. Wouldn't it be a humiliation for all of humanity? Maybe I should do something about this. As I mumbled to myself,
Okari.
a wild Mayuri appears. Let's check our phone real quick. Do you have anything in our text history? We don't. Can we call Amadeus? We can't call Amadeus. Can we call anyone? Can't call anyone. Okay. The game told us to call, because in the original game, you're supposed to... You don't ever have to send text, but you have to interact with the phone wave. I assumed at this point that it was going to ask us to interact with Amadeus at certain points. But I guess not? I don't know.
Maybe.
Either way, I'm going to keep trying it at some point. Mayuri called out to me. She was carrying a lot of bags. It was probably materials for one of her costumes.
Hey. Were you just talking to someone?
Oh, yeah, that was, a friend from my class at college.
I see. So are you going to go meet them today, too?
No, I don't have any plans for today. Are you going to work, Mayuri?
Nope, I'm meeting Yuki at the lab.
Oh, the lab. Is this good timing or bad timing?
I know. Why don't you come with me? It's been so long. And you'll get to eat Yuki's home cooking. And Mayushi's gonna try hard to make something too. How about it?
In the end, I went with her. Hey, Amadeus, we're at the lab. You want to see it? No? Right. You look really happy.
Yup, I am happy.
Mayuri had been smiling the whole time, but I was the opposite. The minute I got here, I was so nervous I felt like I was about to throw up. I didn't really want to see Suzuha. Hey, are you okay there, Okabe? Oh, yeah. The door to the Brontube workshop on the first floor opened, and out came the building's owner, Yugo.
The building's ogre.
The building's ogre. Slip at the tongue. The building's owner, Yugo Tenoji.
Mr. Tenoji. Toot-toot-oo.
Oh, hey there. How y'all doing?
Wow, aren't you cold in just a t-shirt?
Nah, I defeated the cold in single combat, and now it doesn't fuck with me. I'm pretty tough. When I'd been living in the lab, I'd given him the nickname Mr. Brawn. It had been a long time since I'd seen him. Hey, Okabe, from the look of it, you're actually making something of yourself at college, huh? Thanks. Come to think of it, how are we handling the rent? Asked Mayuri instead of him. I used to give it directly to Tenoji, but... Oh, she deposits the money when it's due. Don't you worry, man. Makes sense if Suzuha's living there.
Yep.
And Daru's got his unspecified job.
His definitely not illegal side gig.
Yep. Which we did see a little bit of in the spin-off game we played.
Yep.
I see. Hey, yeah. This man, was he around her in this worldline too? There was no way I could ask him. However, I could check my phone instead of thinking about that.
Hey, how did things go with Kurisu after that?
No problems. Can we do something about her mouth? I want to talk to Maho too. Can we... Can we do this one?
Yeah, that's so fucking funny.
I want to talk to Maho too.
Uh-huh? What? No. Absolutely not. Don't ask me why I have line stickers of you already.
Don't say that. Let me switch between the two of them.
Not happening. Not for you. Ugh, rar.
Oh, sorry. It was a joke. Why do you have line stickers of my friends that you've never met? I didn't think you'd get so mad.
If you knew your electronic double could be spilling secrets about your private life, and you'd have no clue, it would freak you out too. I mean, I know it shouldn't happen, but that doesn't mean it won't.
Oh, you're right. So, can you let me switch between them?
Ah, rawr!
That was good.
There was no way I could ask him. I couldn't help but be wary of him. That's why I'd started to put some distance between us. If nothing else, I'd avoided trying to interact with him. Oh, bye now. Don't cause too much trouble, eh? Tenochi saw that I'd gone silent and went back inside. Mayuri looked over at me with a worried expression.
You okay? Sure you don't want to go home?
More than anything, but let's go. Tenochi didn't matter. What mattered was... Why was I here? Did I feel like something needed to change? Is the game cueing me in? Nope. Alright. Or did I really want to show Kurisu the lab? I went up the stairs, still unsure of the answer.
Toot-toot-oo.
Try one more time. The one thing I don't like about these games is that they're really oblique. Oh, I can't. Mayuri went in first.
Sorry, Yuki. I'm a little late.
The one thing I don't like about the science adventure games is that they're really oblique about when you're meant to interact with them using the thing. So if you find me checking a lot, it's because I genuinely, it's sometimes unclear, and they can be very obtuse about it.
Oh, hey there, Mayuri.
I peeked inside the room. Daru and Yuki were there.
I have a feeling it'll narrate something about using the phone.
Yeah, but you'd think that, right? Sorry, after getting burnt by anonymous code, there's one really obtuse thing you have to do at the very end of it that is like...
Well,
Yeah, I'll try not to worry too much about it.
yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Their eyes went wide when they saw me.
Oh, I see Okabe's with you.
Oh, Ocarine, it's been forever, man.
Oh, yeah, it has. I quickly scanned the room. There was no sign of Suzuha. Part of me was a little relieved. Can I come in?
It's your own lab, dude. Don't ask that.
That's true, I guess. I don't think I can call Kurisu right now. I followed Mayuri to the lab and tried to relax my legs by sitting on the couch, but I didn't feel relaxed at all. It felt like my skin was crawling. I glanced over at Yuki.
That outfit's so cute, Yuki.
Thanks, it's the same I wear every day. I wore it because I wanted to hear you say that.
That's so nice. Mayushi wants to wear it too.
Oh, you want to switch outfits later?
Would I be the right size?
I'd heard about Yuki's future from Suzuha as well. I still couldn't believe someone this pretty was going to marry Daru.
The call from Amadeus.
Call from Amadeus. All right. And that's where we'll call it. Maybe we'll pick up Amadeus next time. Maybe we won't. You have no way of knowing. We'll see you all next time, everyone. Bye.
Peace.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.